Hey friends, welcome back to Survival Dispatch. My name is Jason Salyer, and today I'm going to be testing out this small little wire saw. They can be had for between $5 and $10, something like that online. And they typically come with like a little key ring to put your thumbs into, little thumb loops. But we've swapped it out for some paracord because it's going to make it a little bit more comfortable. And I've never actually used one of these before. I always thought they're not really worth my time because they're probably not going to hold up to any kind of real use. But my buddy Alan K says that they work just fine as long as you take it slow with them. He said he's been carrying one for years in his wallet, and he's used them from time to time. He's maybe not gotten on an airplane with one of these before. I don't know if that's TSA approved, but you definitely can't get a knife anymore through the airlines. But this is something that you could potentially carry with you and always have a cutting tool with you. Let's see what it does. These trees are dogwood trees, and that's about the hardest wood around here. It's really tough, so that'd be a really good test for something like this. Let's see what it's got. Hooking my pinkies through the little loop, and then kind of grabbing right by the little swivel. And that seems to be the most comfortable way to do it. Is it as good as something like this or a bigger saw? Absolutely not. Could I get through that branch probably faster by batoning my knife? Even a small knife like this? Yeah, I could get through that quite a bit quicker. But you know, I don't know. Let's just see if we can get through this branch. With a significant amount of effort and a pretty sturdy piece of dogwood here, we were able to get through it with doesn't seem to be any real wear on our saw at all. Still got quite a few more miles on it, looks like. This is an eastern hemlock, a fairly soft wood. Yeah, much easier with that softer wood. And this is kind of what's going on with the saw right now, as it's coiling up. I think that's why it's going to be important to have these swivels on them. And not all of these, I looked them up, not all of them come with those swivels. Not all of them come with that barrel swivel there, and that's going to be an important thing, because without that you might get some twisting on the wire itself, and if that happens and it gets a kink in it, it's going to be donezo. So I'm going to go ahead and give this thing a run for its money. I'm going to cut a whole bunch of branches here, and I'm not going to take it easy on it. I'm going to really work it and see how well it does and see how well it holds up. If it breaks, it breaks. It's no big deal. But then we'll know exactly what this thing's capable of doing. So I haven't broke it yet, but it is getting really kind of kinky. This is for survival purposes. I've got nothing else. I don't have a lot of real estate, a lot of room to pack, but I could put this in my survival kit and it could make do and get me out of a tough spot. And I think that's the intended purpose for something like this. It's quiet as well. I mean, I could cut these branches down and no one would know that I'm doing this unless you're standing right on top of me, you know? So it's quieter than a normal saw, slower than a normal saw, definitely quieter than chopping with an axe or batoning a knife. So it's got that going for it. Will it last forever? No, definitely not. I mean, I feel it's getting a little kinkier as we go. The swivels are helping it not to get, like if that was to happen and it gets a kink in it and it didn't have those swivels and you got a really tight kink like that and started pulling on it, you might snap it. But I mean, it's working. I mean, I don't really have any complaints. It's not fast by any means if you're in a hurry. We're gonna try something a little bigger. This is a dead pine tree that fell maybe a few years ago. It's pretty dry. I'm gonna really work this thing and see if I can break it. Not gonna be easy on it. Just gonna start ripping. I thought for sure it would have broken by now. I mean, it's hot. Noticeably hot to the touch. Not quite burned, my finger's hot, but it's warming up. I thought for sure it would break. Not being gentle on it at all. Ripping it through, putting, I mean, probably 50 pounds of pressure on it. Like that. I mean, that would have, I thought that would have broke it. Just catching it like that and just yanking on it. The paracord modification is definitely a good idea. That would be, I mean, it's wearing my fingers out a little bit now, but if it was just that key ring that came with it, yowza. Nope, there it goes. So I got it, yeah, I got it pretty hot. I got it pretty hot. I was pulling on it pretty hard, really not being gentle with it at all, and finally yanked it and broke the one. So it looks like it's 1, 2, 3 wires. 1, 2, 3 wires with a small, really small gauge wire wrapped around each one. And that gives it that abrasive factor that makes it cut. I was nearly through this big branch. I mean, this is the last one that I was gonna do here anyway. Almost through it. I'm sure I could snap it off now and break that in two, but it's definitely more durable than I thought it was gonna be. Like I said before, I never gave these things the time of day because I just thought, you know, they're never gonna, I mean, it might work for a second or two, you know, cut a tiny little twig that you could just break anyway, but I mean, it does. I mean, you could cut a substantial piece of wood with it. Is it gonna last forever? Absolutely not. Are these little saws, these little survival wire saws any good? Are they worth having? I think so. I mean, you could throw one in your pocket, throw it in your pack and forget about it. And you'd be really, really happy to have something like this if you really needed it and you had nothing else. I know that for a fact. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to do that. It helps us out. Check out Survival Dispatch Insider because it's full of really awesome survival information, and I know you're going to dig it. And I will see you next time. Thanks.